And good morning. It is Friday. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. I do hope your day is going well for us. As we look to radar out to our west, what do we see? Oh, that's showers there in Texarkana coming up in those areas around Fort Smith, Arkansas. Moving into the Hot Springs area, nothing happening in Louisiana, Mississippi, into Alabama. We'll watch those storms as we expect that stuff to reach us, to have some storms over the weekend, Saturday, late Saturday, into Saturday night, into Sunday. We'll give you all the details on that. It should be worse south of Meridian. We'll look at all of that. Good morning to you. We do hope it's a wonderful day for you as we wake up and get going. Right now, 46, a little nip in the air. How was it outside?
It was great.
Great. He's short sleeve shirt at 46. He says it's wonderful. Hitting a high of 82 today. All the details on the weather to come. Let's go to Collinsville now for our good word of the day.
As a grandparent, I love to watch my children interact with their children when they visit or when we visit them. One of the common things that happens during these interactions is negotiation. It usually happens when one of the children wants something or wants more of something, or maybe they're trying to talk their way out of trouble. They'll try to negotiate with mom or dad, hoping they can talk them down from a punishment or up to a better reward. You know, in Genesis 18, 16 through 36, we read the account of God's plan to destroy the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. God was prepared to destroy both of the cities due to their persistent sinfulness. And we see in these verses where Abraham intercedes on behalf of the cities and begins to negotiate with God, hoping that God might spare them. The negotiation begins with Abraham questioning God by saying, "Will you really sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 righteous people in the city? Will you really sweep it away instead of sparing the place for the sake of the 50 righteous people who are in it? You could not possibly do such a thing, to kill the righteous with the wicked, treating the righteous and the wicked alike. You could not possibly do that. Won't the judge of the whole earth do what is just?" In response, God says in verse 26, "If I find 50 righteous people in the city of Sodom, I will spare the whole place for their sake." Adam asked the same question about 45 people, then 40, then 30, then 20. And finally, he asked God if he would destroy the cities if he could find 10 righteous people there. God said he would not if 10 could be found. From there, Abraham moved on. God did indeed destroy these cities. There were only 4 righteous people found there, and they were Abraham's nephew Lot and his family. What I want us to see here is that Abraham's walk with God grew to the point where he was willing to intercede fervently, even for the unrighteous. He pleaded with God in the hopes that the cities might be spared and given the opportunity to turn from their sin. Would to God that we could be conformed to the image of Christ to the point that we are willing to plead for the lives of those who are far from God, even those who are deserving of the full judgment of God. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Wow, some days your hands just can't get to the right button, can it? I was making a mistake there. Good morning, Miss Flora. It is so good to see you joining us. We thank you so much. We see Mark is there, Miss Diane, John is up and Adam, Joe. Ooh, a whole bunch of y'all. Alan? Y'all welcome. Glad to have you a part of this. As we begin this, I like this story. Don't you like happy endings? Or, well, a new start, rather, maybe is the word. As we go back to remember August, y'all remember the church where the youngsters were shot and killed? Y'all remember that? We have the 12-year-old little girl that has been released from the hospital. She was one of the most serious injured. She took a strike to the head area. She's out of the hospital and doing better. Isn't that wonderful? We certainly hate all of that happened, but we were so glad that she is better. That is a good way to start the day. Oh, it looks like Eric Adams is now backing Andrew Cuomo as we get ready for this New York election. Oh, I'm afraid that even him backing is not going to help him. We'll see what becomes of it, and we'll let you know how the election turns out as it gets closer. Sometimes thieves have to get creative. And we'll get into that jewelry heist this morning on the morning show. But in Florida, how do you get in? Well, sometimes you got to cut a hole in the roof. And they done just that at a mall and got away with $50,000 worth of tennis shoes. My, look for a bargain on the streets of Florida somewhere. You know how that goes. And I am so against anyone trying to, and I think most Americans are. You watch other cities and these larger populated areas where sometimes common sense goes to the wayside. Do you remember the former mayor of Chicago? Lori Lightfoot, I believe was her name. She is leading this effort to try to spearhead it against ICE to show where they live and what they do. Just thought you needed to know the name. We also have a school teacher. This is going on there in California, to where a school teacher got up and he suggested violence against police, specifically ICE agents, during a speech. And there it is there. That's straight from Fox News. As you don't have to take my word for it. You can go to Fox on their Twitter account and watch that. At the same time, we had another man that this was also in, I believe it was, this was in San Diego in California, to where he rams his car into ICE agents to try to deter them from arresting people. The list just goes on and on and on and on. We go back to California when we get into illegal aliens and what's good for America. A truck driver, this is a new one now. A truck driver who is an alien, doesn't have a driver's license, CDL stuff. Oh, wait a minute, he was under the influence of drugs when he crashed and killed 3 people. This just keeps going and going and going. We also have video, and this is one of those. Easy to find, to where it's a guy that works for the Department of Transportation in California, talking about when they come in, if they can't speak English very well or can't read it, they just skip half of the CDL test and go to somewhere else because they don't want them to fail. You should never bend the rules. Not in these cases. There's too many lives at risk. And a lot of you will argue, or maybe some from the other larger cities, but think about that. Do you realize just how powerful an 18-wheeler is? No, not saying that a car isn't, but an 18-wheeler has the capability to take out multiple lives when it's driven wrong. If you can't handle the rig, you do not need to be on the road. Should only be there professionals. And it takes time. You can go to school, take those truck driving classes, but until you're out there on the road for a long time, you're not an experienced truck driver. That American cowboy truck driver, he's a thing of the past that is disappearing. It's scary. Social Security. We were looking for an announcement on a bump for those of you who live off Social Security, and I know you need it. It looks like it'll be at least another week or so, maybe this afternoon, maybe into November, before they announce a cost of living adjustment. We look forward to hearing that. I know you need that. As they say, it's supposed to get real up in Washington. Pam Bondi, you know who I'm talking about, the Attorney General? She's just sent word to Nancy, said, whoa, hold on there, cowgirl. Don't delete any of those emails. We got a little investigation we need to go through. But Nancy is not going to like this. This was after Nancy had made a comment ordering some ICE agents to be arrested. It's fixing to get for real there, as we say. Now, we often talk about, and I've seen this. This was a couple of years ago, one of the statistics I saw, where the average American, to where at one time it was 90%, and steadily through the years, Christianity has dropped and dropped and dropped. At one point, it had dropped to 49% in America, to where Americans were non-believers anymore. And I'll say they, as they put these surveys together, and I do have the information on this of who did it, and I'd have to go back and find it. What they're saying is by 2070, that Christianity will be the lower portion of what we faith in America. It will turn to Muslim by 2070. That's what they're saying. That's going leaps and bounds. Here's a bit of a good news on that has just come out. In the last few weeks, we've had an uptick in Christianity. Up to about 54%. It's climbing after Charlie's death. About 30 more million Americans, I almost said that wrong, 30 million more Americans have followed Jesus Christ since the death of Charlie. Pretty strong, isn't it? There is hope. Now again, I warn you, there's a book that has all this written, and we know how it will end. It's not going to be a good ending, but we know how it will. What else do we have happening this morning? We've got some of the folks that, since this shutdown is happening, the national parks. Maybe this is true. I'm not sure. Drones, there's a lot of people that own them, and they say the problem with it is it's gotten more affordable, more Americans have them now. They're saying that at these national parks that drone flyers are, well, harassing the wildlife, taking pictures. Or is that just a way to try to keep them from flying over national parks? I don't have the answer for that. But they are complaining. They're trying to blow the whistles of this AI thing. And we all know this. We've got the data centers being built in Meridian, always word of more coming. Amazon, as they try to make their bottom line look better, plan to replace more jobs with AI, computers. This should be no shock. As we've stressed this time and time again, for those coming along, there's many colleges that teach trades also. There was a time in America to where, well, they turned their nose down for people that got their hands dirty. As you go back and think about dirty jobs with Mike, most of those guys that he ever interviewed were millionaires. You just got to get a little dirty. There's colleges that teach trades. There's nothing wrong with learning a trade. Be smart about it. This is out here, FBI. Now, this is a person that dropped a package off. This was back during the January 6th thing, 4 or 5 years ago, back in 21, before the J6. He dropped a package off at a Democrat office, and also at a Republican office. And it was a package that they're releasing more video to try to figure out who this person was. They have not caught them yet. What happens? Let me see the town that this happened in. North Carolina. And I can only blame this on judges. I don't have any other way to do this. A guy that was arrested 40 times. You think about that, 40 times. That's a habitual offender, is it not? At the end, he killed someone at a Motel 6 after being arrested 40 times for other crimes. Something was going wrong there. He kept getting a pat on the back. Anybody still like Aaron Rodgers? You know, the guy that played football? Says when he retires, he will plan to retire with the Packers when his career ends. Said he spent 18 years there, and that's where his heart is. Okay. Also, NFL, and I've read this several times, so it's no matter how many petitions are put out, it's not going to change it. The NFL says get over it. They're going to have Bad Bunny as the halftime entertainment, and there's nothing you can do about it. Oh, yes, there is. If you don't watch it, it will bite into the revenue. It will send a strong message. Do I expect that to happen? I do not. It will probably be one of the most watched programs of the year. But that's how you stop this from happening again. Again, I doubt that will happen, but I think you should know that. Here's something, we don't have a name. This is like over the top. We have a millionaire, we might want to call it a billionaire, that has made a donation to the US of A so that our troops will be paid. He gave $130 million to make sure our boys and ladies get paid. If that's not a patriot, I don't know who is. No names have been released, and I doubt they do. Venezuela, as bombers have been flying, taking out the cartels that send drugs into the United States. We've been taking care of those. Trump says land is next. They're going to fix this problem. That's how you do it. Criminals, you've got to show them that there is something that you get punished for. It'll straighten them out. This is sad beyond sad as we go to candidates that are going to be running for the Illinois governor's office. I don't know if you've heard this yet or not. This guy, I believe he's a Republican that is running. a helicopter went down. His daughter, son-in-law, and 2 grandchildren perished in that crash. Sad day for him, and we feel for that. Darren Bailey is the guy. Well, we feel for them. That's just sad there. I don't quite understand this. Do y'all remember the song, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald? Do y'all remember that? The ship that went down in 75, I believe. This is weirder than weird, and it makes no sense. Even the news articles goes, we don't understand why this is a part of this. The state of Michigan has acquired a life ring that came from that ship. Now that's they throw it out, you're on this ship, and you get brought in by it, you put it around you, the life preserver. A man sued them for wrongful arrest. He was suing for $600,000 against the city. In Detroit, Michigan is where this happened. Somewhere in the negotiations, he owned this. In the settlement, they got the life ring, and he was awarded $600,000. What did that have to do with his case? We don't know. No one seems to be able to tell. But he turned it over, and they're going to put it in a museum. They're thinking that was probably worth about $500,000 as well. It was going to go up for auction, 50th anniversary of that. I don't know. Trump has reversed a decision to send troops at this point to San Francisco after meeting with the mayor of San Francisco. Maybe there's something we don't know. That's we'll see where that goes. There's a cause. I'm sure we just don't know what it is. Washington rescuers, God bless them, climbed through 5 miles of snow to save some stranded hikers. And as we get into these winter months, you better be careful of what you're doing. The group only had a tarp. It was very, very cold conditions in Washington. That's elevated snow. They did reach them in time, though. That's the good news on that. Trump is going to meet next Thursday. He will have a meeting with China's president. Let's hope something good comes out of that, don't you? I certainly hope so. Diane, good morning there. Rick, good to see you as well. Let's see. There was another story that we wanted to mention here. Target is going to be eliminating 1,800 corporate jobs. Maybe that'll bring the prices down. We certainly hope so. There was a problem with Alaska Airlines yesterday. Did y'all hear about this? It was a computer glitch. It grounded tons and tons of flights, over 200. That glitch has been fixed. They're back up in the air now. It caused some commotion in these adjoining flights that they hooked to. Problems there. Well, that's what we've got in headlines this morning. Coming up, we're going to get into your forecast next as we get Fun Friday underway. We'll do your forecast next here at the Scotty Ray Report.
When your AC goes out, your sink leaks, or your breakers are tripping, you need help fast from someone you can trust. That's why we work hard to have the fastest service times and the most knowledgeable technicians in Central Mississippi. Our promise to you, at your door in under 24. So don't wait days for others to show up. Call Environment Masters for hassle-free plumbing, electrical, and AC. At your door in under 24, because it's not cool to make you wait.
The Scotty Ray Report studio is sponsored by Environment Masters, providing hassle-free heating and cooling, plumbing, and electrical services since 1957, and now serving Meridian homeowners. Welcome back. Let's get into our forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
Our record highs and record lows back in 39. We had a high of 89 today. Back in 1917, it was 30. Very drastic, wasn't it, in between those years? As we look today to have about 82 for the high. Here's what we have. As I said, Meridian, 82 as we go northward. A little bit cooler there in Philadelphia at 80. We'll get into the 70s by the time we get to Eupora, dropping to 75 at Tupelo. And there at the state line, it'll be a nice 71 at Corinth. As we go south, Gulfport should see about 79 today there on Highway 90 there. along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Tonight, we should see 54 in Meridian, around 53 in Philadelphia. We go west to Vicksburg, about 59, and a little bit cooler as we get to the Delta, about 57. As we go south, still warm there on the Mississippi Gulf Coast for a low of 65 tonight there across that waterfront. As we go to Bama, we'll see 81 in Demopolis today, should see 80 in Tuscaloosa. And again, as you get further north there, the cooler it gets. Gadsden, 73, Clanton, 78 there. As we look to this, we should see some rain late Saturday night into Sunday. And again, it's going to be south of the Meridian area, Hattiesburg, Brookhaven. We're going to get our rain, but not as much as they get there. It could be some heavy amounts of rain south of here. Now, keep in mind, it's Mother Nature. Anything can change. We'll keep you on top of that. As we see here, cooler weather for us across Mississippi, even into Louisiana and due east. That's not bad at all. As we look at our 7-day forecast today, we got those 80s today, but look at the change coming as we saw there on the map. By Sunday, we're dropping to a high of 70 with that 70% chance of rain. Low of 58 that night as we get into Monday. Still nice weather at 75, and by Wednesday, we'll see our first taste of 60s for a high. 69 on Wednesday. Thursday, we should see the high only at 65. That's nice. Lows in the 40s as we get into that. Now, as we keep going all the way through November the 7th, looks like Halloween will end up next Friday, a week from today, with a high of 66 with that low of about 41. As we move into, boy, that's real close to 30, isn't it? We'll watch those temperatures there for you as we get into November. High of 68, 42 all the way through the 7th, 73. You couldn't ask for better weather. Nighttime lows in the upper 40s there. Perfect coming for us there. As we turn to our fishing forecast at Clarkdale Superette, major times to fish today will be this afternoon between 2 and 4 p.m. A minor time after dark. You've got a couple hours of minor fishing this morning between 9 and 11. Not great, but you can go there. Sunrise happening at 7:05 this morning. Now, as we turn to our hunting calendar, what's happening today with the best times to deer hunt? And keep in mind, light variable wind becoming southeast 5 to 10 miles an hour this morning. We've got a pretty good day, and they're rating it as good as we get to major times to hunt today, 2:02 to 4:02 p.m., and we've got a minor time this afternoon from 2:02 to 4:02. Afternoon hunt, not bad, but not as good as that afternoon one there. So good luck with all that. Sunrise 7:05. Sunset will roll in at 6:11 this afternoon as we look at that. Here's the latest we got on Melissa. She's moving along as a tropical storm at 46 miles an hour, gust at 58 miles an hour, 1,001 millibars. Kind of sitting steady there. It's been sitting still for the last few days. Let's go to radar and show you exactly what we've got, where she's at. This storm should turn into a Category 3 to 4 before it's all said and done. As we go to radar, let's pull this up and take a look. Let's back out and go over here to where she is. And it will. Now, this is going to take a right-hand turn as it goes across Cuba and stay away from the United States. But this will reach at one point a Category 4 is what we're expecting before it's all said and done. So something to watch. Wind speed should get up to about 138 miles an hour before it turns and goes away from the U.S. We're hitting a home run on that.
It's scared of Trump.
It's scared of Trump. That's what it is. Don't want to go to the Gulf.
Even the weather won't.
B-52s, they're scared of them. Running away from us. That's a look at our forecast this morning. We're sitting at 6:55 now, just before the morning show. Is Julia's broom parked out front?
I don't think so. I mean, the rumor is she was coming in today. That would be 5 weeks in a row.
That is strange.
All-time record. You know?
For her, it is.
But with this cold weather like it is, I just hope that things didn't get iced up.
Kick-starting that broom trying to get here.
No.
We'll be right back with the latest headlines and things that are happening in our area. It's Fun Friday. Join us, won't you? We'll see you in a moment here at the Scotty Ray Report.